Good morning. Sunday morning, I got up early today and kind of walking around the garage, seeing what work I got to do and the kind of the lineup. Um, the weather's beautiful up here out in Lake Havasu right now. It's really nice. We're getting ready for the heat. So we're doing a few things around the yard to get ready for the heat because it's pretty hot to have cars outside. Anyhow, the 60 Roadster, I built this engine probably it's been under a year anyways, and it's 86 millimeter piston cylinders, and it was at another shop. They were doing some tuning in it. It's the car's from Southern California, so it was quite a ways away from me. So anyhow, another knowledgeable mechanic, they had it at their shop, and as they were running it, as the car was there, it created a knock, and they wanted to send the motor back to me because assuming the knock was something related to the build. Well, I want to know about it, and I want to see if I did something wrong. If I did, I will take care of it, absolutely, 100%. And I like to know what's going on. Is my bearing fail or the piston fail, whatever. I want to know because these are kind of like my kids. I put them out in the world and people drive them and enjoy them, and something happens. I want to know what it is. Was it over revved? There's all kinds of things that can happen. So I dropped the motor. I showed you guys how to drop the motor out of the 58 we did. That car I delivered already. That actually turned out really nice. I didn't do a put back together video on that because I just been so busy. So anyhow, the engine I'm going to share with you right now. What happened is I went to I pull the engine off and I rotate the motor, and when I rotated it would hit a spot, kind of like a hydro lock. When the fuel gets in there and you hydro lock it, it just stops. It won't rotate. You rotate it backwards and see if it frees it, whatever. So anyhow, let me show you what happened. What happened is something fell down the carburetor, went into the cylinder, and was bouncing around inside between the piston and the head, right? And it beat the head up. Actually, this didn't go on for a long time because it made a lot of noise. So let me show you what that is. Okay, so here's the engine we did, and here's the piston, the damage on the piston. You can see it beat it up. It bounced around there. It's all kind of dinged up, but the problem is also, so you check to see if your rings have broken. A piece of ring broke and come through, but all the way around this piston is really, working the way it's supposed to. So, but now the problem is because it was getting smashed here, it closed this groove, and it smashed the ring in there. As you can see, I can't move the ring in there. So, anyhow, this piston is dead. You can't reuse this. You can't file this out. There's just no reason to do that. It's not going to be good. So the cylinder the cylinder that came off of that piston is very nice. You can see all the hash marks. I'll zoom in right now. But so it wasn't like a ring came off and bounced around in there. You can see that the hash marks are like really heavy in there. So there's no scratching in here. The damage is here on the head. And this is just, you can see where it was bouncing around in there. And that's the piece, but I really can't identify what it was, or it's obviously a hard metal, but I have no idea what it is. Anyways, that fell down the carburetor, got in the cylinder, and was stopping the piston. It was bottoming out because it was just beating this up, and you can see in the head how it's all nicked up from it bouncing out. I'm actually really surprised it actually didn't just pass it through the exhaust valve, but it It just bounced around. So that's what happened to the motor in the 60 Roadster. The and this engine is still all the early cast valve train, which is this setup here, right? And it's got these push rod tube, and these have a little wood dowel inside the middle of them. We're going to actually, because the way the owner of this car is using this car now, I suggested we go to a 912 head, which has bigger valves, and the 912 valve train, which is going to be a lot nicer for the way he's driving this car. And so I'm looking for a set of 912 heads, a nice set. I looked at quite a few already on eBay, but they're all seem to be cracked between the spark plug and the valve, and that's kind of common. So we're looking for, we're going to convert the top of this motor because he's really pushing the car, as he should. I mean, he loves to drive, and let's just do that. We didn't know how this car was going to go, so now we know the story. So we're gonna set it up to run. So that's what I'm looking for. Also, I'm going to do a thing on the transmission. The transmission, we're going to go to a higher gear. There's a G gear and a GX. To go to the GX gear, you got to change out third gear. It's a 4-speed, right? So we change out the third gear so that the ratios aren't so different. So we're going to do that. I'm going to pull that out, pull that trans. We're going to take it over to Burbank. Let my good friend of mine, we're going to tear it down, change out the gears. We got to buy the gear first before I do all that, because I don't know how the availability of that gear. So meanwhile, the Sportomatic car, the silver Sportomatic car, is coming along really nicely. I did remove all the calipers. Calipers are all right there, and they're all going to go in a car. We're changing out hard lines, brake lines, the rubber lines. The owner, John, did a beautiful job on the engine compartment, put a new sound pad in there, and he really cleaned up this car nicely. So I'm very excited to do this. The we'll call it a major holdup I have is the intake manifolds, as you know, are the steel first edition of the intake manifolds for the CIS injection. So they had some surface rust, and they weren't as clean as I would like them to be. So I gave them my powder coater, which always does a beautiful job on my stuff, and it's just taken a little longer time. The powder coater, sandblaster, man, the compressors are working all the time, so they go out. The oven is just working tremendously, so the oven goes out. So it's just been a delay, and I'm hoping to get them this week, because you give me a nice day, I'll say a nice day, probably half a day, but a nice day, and I'll have that injection on that car, that motor in that car, and ready, you're ready for me to try to drive it. I'm excited to drive that transmission, that Sportomatic, and see how that turns out. So we got that. But on another note, since we're just going to kind of catch up, I ended up buying an 88 coupe, and I'm going to do a backdate on it. So we're going to do a backdate video on an 88 to a 73S. Let me show you the car. So it's right here. I just pulled it in here last night. So this is an 88 3.2 G50 car. And what we're going to do is backdate it to a 73S. I don't want to go wide body that route. I just want to do a really clean 73 backdate. Now, it turns out really nice. You got a 3.2 motor. I don't know, we're going to go to a 3.4, possibly. And you end up with a lighter car because you get rid of the heavy bumpers. You get power windows. We can do the air conditioning in this one. And you just end up with a nice car to do cars and coffee or run up and down the hill. I mean, it's just a cool setup. So I've done these. You remember Leonard's 85 we did that as an RSR body. This one I'm not going to flare it. We're just going to convert it. So I'm pretty excited to do that. So that's what's going on with this one. That's our next project. And I did buy a 74 coupe with no sunroof to do also a backdate. So we got two of them. I'm thinking maybe go RSR or ST on that one. And that one is going to have a 3.6, 3.8 or 3.8 engine in it, because that's going to be the boss right there. Smog legal in California, anywhere. I mean, that's going to be a sweet ride. This one will be a sweet ride. This one is going to be completely smog legal also. I'm not altering anything on the exhaust or on top of the motor to, so for the visual inspection kind of thing for California smog. So this one will be a turnkey 73 backdated, with all the nice stuff of a newer Carrera. So that'll be cool. And then the 912, Gary's 912 is going to him on the 14th. We're gonna run that out there. I'm gonna run it out in my enclosed trailer because I got to drive through Glamis to get there, and I don't want it out in the sandy roads. So I'll trailer that out there, and that car is going to the La Jolla Concourse. So I'm super excited. Leah and I are gonna run out there in our in Leah's 997, which will be really fun to do. So this is really exciting for me. Really exciting for me to run the 912 in the Concourse. We did a Concourse before with my 911R replica build, and we took a first place at the Palm Springs, the PCA Concourse. That car was really something else. I'm still going to share that car with you. The channel is going really pretty strong, and I would like to share that. So anyways, doing a lot of talking today, but it's Sunday morning, and I just wanted to share what's going on. I've talked about the 3.2 we're doing, the 3.2, the 3-liter for Moses. These engines here I got to tear down and go through, but I do. And then we got the little 59 back there. We got to drive that. I already set up the carburetors on it. That's getting ready to go. But I just wanted to share that the information when something falls in the carburetor, goes down into the piston, it makes a lot of noise, really banging noise. But like I said, we're going to convert this to like a 912 valve train and heads. The other problem is you don't know what kind of damage happened to the rod bearings, the connecting rod bearings. So I'm going to go ahead and completely tear this down and check out those rod bearings, because they could get flat spots in them where they were banging from the piston stopping each time it hit that obstruction in the cylinder. So we'll figure that out. I'll get in there, take that out, and go from there. So anyhow, just wanted to catch up a little bit. Sunday morning, like I said, it's a beautiful day. We'll be here in the garage. I'm working on the 88 a little bit. We're gonna pull the hood off. Let me show you something. I did get a long hood conversion from Dave over at TRE already. There's the hood. You can see they extended it to make a long hood out of the original short hood. And the beauty of this is, and which I think is nice, is you run the same latch to hold that hood down on, instead of, because I didn't want to use bungee straps like like a lightweight fiberglass hood. So that's an extension for it. So what happens is I just give Dave another core hood, and they kind of try to keep one in stock all the time. When you're doing these back dates, the huge advantage is being in contact with TRE Motorsports. Dave, God, we go way back, and he's been like the master on these back dates way before any of these companies started doing it. Okay, so he was putting this stuff together, backdating, and I would say he's probably one of the first guys that started doing that. I bought all my parts from Leonard, for Leonard's backdate to 85, 20 something years ago from Dave, and it's nice that he's still doing that and still putting those kits together. Anyway, just wanted to say that, but share that hood. So, all right, well, have a nice Sunday, and I'm gonna be busy here today, obviously, and I will talk to you guys later. All right, cool. Oh, stay with us, subscribe, hit your likes, and this 88 is going to be a fun project to follow. Oh, the the 912E is going to be painted here real soon, and that's going to also be coming. So I got to get some. I need some room in the garage. All right, guys, bye.